What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Arrow Season 6. So it is Comic-Con weekend. Tomorrow night starts off the CW DC panels, and we've already had an inside scoop that we're going to be finding out who the Arrow Season 6 villains are. Yes, I said villains. So during an interview with Wendy Miracle, she was asked some questions by Entertainment Weekly, which is pretty much one of the only websites you can trust alongside with TV Line. So the question was, do you have any scoops on the next villain? And she said this: I'd put some good money on getting some solid info Saturday during the show's panel at Comic-Con. In the meantime, here's a little teaser. As usual, every season we want to try to take up this stake and do something different, which they definitely did, because we had Magical Damien, and then obviously season 5 we had Prometheus, so they were very different. So it goes on. This will be something we've never seen before. The villain will be hopefully as dynamic and as interesting as the ones we've had in the past. These people, or the person, won't just be somebody that's a thorn in Oliver's side, but it will affect the whole team personally and very directly. And then it went on to say, could Caden, James and Helix blah blah blah, but I'm going to skip that because I don't think that's the important part. So what I got from this is that the villain is going to be something different that we've never been, potentially on the scale when we had League of Assassins and the Deathstroke army. So what I think is going to happen, we all know about the casting, the cool casting that we had on Reddit a few weeks ago about Ricardo Diaz, aka Richard Dragon, which went like this: male, 30 to 40, diverse, hardened ex-con recently released from prison for crimes he didn't commit. Ricardo uses his freedom and $25 million in a settlement money to establish control over Star City, crime lord, underworld. He's a martial arts and fighting expert, honoured by years of life on the hardened street. 7/11 fictional season regular. So that tells me that he's only going to be between 7 to 13 episodes. But what I'm taking away from this is that there's going to be multiple villains. So what I'm suggesting is, and I've said this before, is we will be getting the Longbow Hunters alongside Ricardo Diaz. So a bit of a background information. Ricardo Diaz Jr., also known as Richard Dragon, is a vigilante. No, not the vigilante. I've done multiple videos on that. And the leader and the founder of the Longbow Hunters. So the Longbow Hunters were a group of people which included Count Vertigo, Clock King, Brick, Red Dart and Killer Moth. Their main mission was to take down Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow. Literally everyone's mission. I mean, the only one we haven't seen out in that list is Red Dart. We've seen the rest of them. We've seen Brick, played by Vinnie Jones. We've seen the Clock King, played by my favourite actor, well, one of my favourite actors, Teabag, Mr. Robert from Prison Break. So potentially I think the Longbow Hunters will be coming, and also found a member of the League of Assassins. Well, he was in the League of Assassins. He is the son of Ricardo Diaz, a corrupt businessman who was taken down and killed by John Diggle. Now this is very interesting because I was talking to someone about this, and apparently John Diggle will be using the Arrow suit this year. So this does kind of impartially, unofficially confirm this storyline could be going down. So using the Green Arrow's name and uniform during a mission, learning that the Green Arrow was killed in his travel homeland of the League of Assassins, where he became a member of the group and trained under the original Richard Dragon. However, some unknown amount of time later, he killed his master, taking his name and leaving the group and continuing his journey for revenge. So obviously this Ricardo Diaz, Richard Dragon dude, is on a revenge storyline, thinking the Green Arrow killed him, when really he didn't kill him. It was John Diggle. So I think it's going to be quite interesting because the whole theme is family, and if it's got the same vibe as Deathstroke or Prometheus storyline, I think it could be one of the strongest seasons that we have had to date. Because if they're planning to bring Count Vertigo back, Brick back, Killer Moth back, who had a storyline with Laurel Lance, if you remember that far back, and possibly bring Red Dart in, it could be one of the strongest seasons we've had to date. The reason I wanted to make this video today is because I want to put this video out before we get the official Comic-Con reveal of the villain, just to say that I put it out there. I've done multiple villains before, but who I would really love I'd love to have Richard Dragon with the Longbow Hunters, and also have Cheshire. I think Cheshire would be pretty cool because she does have a story with Roy Harper. Obviously, Roy Harper, played by Colton, is on American Horror Story Season 7, which theme is called The Cult. But they filmed that in one go, so he could come back into Arrow the latter half of next year, because they film Arrow in real time. So I think it would be quite interesting if that was the kind of way they were going. Because if you go back to the article from Entertainment Weekly, it says this: it will affect the whole team personally and very direct. So they're going to be going after the whole of Team Arrow, and not just going after Oliver Queen, which is quite interesting. I think it's a very interesting storyline. And then obviously the Vigilante is going to pop up at some point, so that's going to be quite interesting. So that's my final thought, my final word on who's going to be the villains during Season 6 of Arrow. I mean, I think it's quite well known that Richard Dragon, Ricardo Diaz, there has been a casting call for him, not being confirmed, the same as the thing on Flash, not being confirmed, but it's as good as being confirmed. So guys, let me know in the comments down below. Do you think the Longbow Hunters would be pretty cool? I mean, it is quite fitting that we've had Count Vertigo, we've had Brick, we've had Killer Moth, we've had the Clock King. So it would be pretty cool to bring some old people back and mix them with someone like Richard Dragon, maybe Cheshire, or some kind of storyline like that. I mean, it would be pretty interesting. And I know that a lot of people are speculating that the brother KGB Beast are going to be involved, because his feud is not over with Oliver, and Oliver was family to the Russian mafia. I don't really like that storyline. I think that storyline would be pretty bad. But, you know, it's Arrow. They always do things we don't like. The writers don't seem to understand what the fans want. So I hope, if that is the case, that maybe we have, I don't know, maybe have KGB at the start of the season, then it flicks over to Richard Dragon or something like that. But it would be quite interesting if they go with Richard Dragon, maybe Cheshire, maybe Longbow Hunters, or maybe something like, or maybe in the Outsider Wars, like I said before. But I think that's a bit too big for Arrow, because they would need Shedload, they'd need all the different clans, like the Axe, the Sword, and all that kind of stuff, like obviously from the New 52. But I don't think I think that scale would be too big for this TV show. So guys, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this video? Who do you think the villain's going to be? Are you excited for Comic-Con? I will be covering at least Arrow, Flash, maybe Supergirl, maybe later tomorrow, and maybe Black Lightning, and obviously Justice League and stuff like that. So if you want to subscribe, go ahead. If you don't. Maybe think about liking, maybe think about subscribing and joining the Warheads crew down below, the Warheads, as I like to call my 10 fans. Anyway guys, I'll catch you in another video. Catch ya later.